there everyone, you guys thought I was going to try and do a terrible Kefka impression so that you guys could laugh at me, but in all fairness, I'm still working on it, so you guys are going to have to wait for that one, and my costume's not fully finished yet. But thank you very much for watching, everybody, and thank you for joining in. My name is Joesephyr, and welcome to another episode of Should You Pull for Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia, and today we're going to be talking about none other than this guy, or this guy, depending on which way you're looking at it. So it's going to be Kefka EX, along with Bartz and Tifa this time round on the banner, and I thought there was no better time for me to show you guys that Joesephyr from Square Enix isn't the only person who really loves Kefka. I wanted to showcase some of my makeup skills that I've acquired over the past couple of years, because I'm actually a makeup artist for anyone who didn't already know, and I wanted to kind of bring you guys something a little bit different. So come and check out all of the social media links and everything, including my Twitch channel, where I'm sure I'll be doing a little bit of streaming with some of this on Why Not. And then come out and check all of my other social media links like Discord and Patreon and all that other good stuff. But if you're just here to find out about Kefka EX and whether it's worth pulling for, then stay tuned and keep on watching. Tell you what, with these feathers and these ornaments and everything, no wonder Kefka wanted to destroy the world. These things are a pain in the backside. Anyways, before going on to Kefka himself, we're going to talk about his playmates on the banner, and those are Tifa and Bartz. Now, Tifa doesn't have her EX on this banner, and therefore is kind of terrible, unfortunately. She's kind of cool, like she's single target DPS, she can overflow her max bravery really, really far. So looking at her passives and her awakened abilities, she's... The beat rush, actually no, this is the Japanese version, which is reworked, and that's actually good, so there we go. But this is the actual version that we have, and as you can see, it's significantly less than what we have in JP. But this one has sort of Brave Overflow on beat rush, the battle cry works really, really well. It's still not really enough to kind of warrant pulling for her, though. As with most banners these days, if you're pulling on a character, you're pulling on whichever character has the EX, and in this case, it's Kefka. However, I do want to make a quick note on the fact that Bartz is actually pretty relevant even without his EX. His longevity suffers a lot without his EX, but his passives and stuff work so well because he has a party aura that works when he masters his abilities, his simple mastery, which is really useful. It's called Freelancer Master on this website. But slightly raises initial bravery, max bravery attack and defense after mastering all of his abilities. You can increase this with artifact passives, and that's really helpful. But Missile Plus is really, really good, even if you don't have the EX. Obviously, you wish you had it, but if you don't already have Bartz and you're pulling for Kefka, getting his 15 and 35 is actually going to be quite beneficial to you in the long run anyway. But now we come to the star of the show for this banner, which is going to be Kefka himself. Now, as you can see, I'm a little bit of a fan of Kefka. Not necessarily because he's a busted character or anything, I just love him. We all know, well known, that Joesephyr from Square Enix has cosplayed Kefka in the past in order to try and pull for him and get some luck on his case, but unfortunately he had to pull really, really hard for Kefka back when he tried to get him, and I'm hoping that this curse doesn't affect me in quite the same way. Although, admittedly, I'm not in full Kefka cosplay, I'm just Kefka from the neck up today. But let me know if you guys want to know more about the cosplay that I plan on doing for Kefka, or whether you like the makeup that I've done here and the hair and everything, and what you'd like to see come from that. Anyway, back to Kefka himself in Opera Omnia. He is an extraordinary debuffer. Like, he can do stuff when it comes to lowering stats that no other character can. Because his EX is a framed debuff, and then both of his other attacks inflict a ton of debuffs. So if you're going to take Kefka, he's going to fill out all of the debuffs by himself. So I wouldn't recommend putting him in next to other debuffers like Lilith's Set, because you're just going to end up overwriting your own debuffs constantly. Ramza, on the other hand, I think is a little bit of an exception to this, because he also does a framed debuff, and only that framed debuff. So that's worth noting. But the main reasons that you use Kefka are for Trine, because of its HP attack silence, and Blind, which means that against certain bosses, you can just cheese them if you have Kefka and Trine. And now that he's got other things that he can do as well, he can do some really nasty things in setting your opponent back. In combination with something like Quistis, who also does debuff, like speed debuffs, turn rate debuffs, and all that sort of stuff, you end up just with a monster that just sits there like a wet fish and just flops around, and it doesn't do anything. But before talking about the EX, let's talk about the passive extensions that he gets. So both Trine and Light of Judgment become AoE attacks, and this is a big deal, and it really helps him because it means that the debuffs are dealt across the board and not just to one enemy. It also adds HP damage across all the enemies, so it's going to mean that Kefka's actually half decent for farming, which is a really strange thing. Both abilities can overflow the bravery up to 150 maximum, 150%, which is really, really useful just for dealing extra damage and goes well with his EX's extra passive that you get from it. And it's quite quick. Once you use it, it starts going quite quickly. And then Light of Judgment extending the duration of debuffs by a turn is actually really nasty, because it means that you're not having to use things quite as often, because both of these attacks give Kefka access to Meteor, which isn't fantastic as a Brave attack plus, because it doesn't inflict an HP attack as well, but it is actually quite useful in the fact that you can at least deal a lot of damage, and the passive that you get from the EX actually makes Meteor stronger, and his regular Brave attack stronger to make up for it, so that at least you can hit pretty hard with Kefka. Now, the weapon passives are all very important to Kefka for multiple reasons, but the 15 CUP makes it so that Blind and HP Silence last for longer, and then you get the Meteor ability instead. And it's just, Kefka is there to debuff, and that is all. That is what he is there to do. If you think that you're going to get a really, really strong DPS character out of Kefka, then I'm afraid you're going to be disappointed. But his debuffing doesn't get excelled up until Pain comes out, and that's going to be not really for a good couple of months. And then his 35 CP improves all debuffs and extends their duration. And I believe that they actually you end up with attack, defense, and speed down all by 30%, which is stronger than any of the other debuffs in the game right now in one attack at the very least. And then that also gives you Meteor for one turn. But the thing that we're all wanting to look at really is the EX, because everyone wants that. So the stylish head ornament is a little bit more ornate than mine right now, but we'll get to that. I've still got to build it up just yet. But Havoc Wing is a Brave HP attack that basically does a lot of bravery damage depending on how many debuffs they've had. So you're going to want to use this after you've used the other attacks. Bravery can overflow up to 150%. It has a chance to just instantly break the target, which is a nice bonus, but not something you should ever rely on. As a low action delay, as it says on the list here, it grants Ridiculous Clown, which is a framed debuff that lowers attack, defense, and speed on top of the attack, defense, and speed lowering that you already did through Light of Judgment. And it also has Sap on it, but it isn't Sap. This is all part of the Ridiculous Clown framed debuff. So if you can find another way to inflict Sap, it's not recommended, because obviously, like I said, all of Kefka's debuffs are going to fill up those debuff slots really quick. But if you've got another instance of Sap, your opponent's going to have no bravery before they try and attack, pretty much ever. So it's really nice but the real sort of meat of this ability is the fact that you get such a large number of debuffs in one slot. Because we get so many buffs and debuffs and all of this, sometimes it's very difficult to keep track of how many we've got on at any given time, because you can only have up to a maximum of 6 buffs/debuffs at any given time. So to have Kefka be able to fill that out by himself means that your other 2 slots in your team don't need to be debuffing really at all. As I said earlier, I think the only exception to this would be Ramza, because his frame debuff from Innovate, if you have his EX, is also an attack, defense, and speed down debuff that comes in one frame. So if you're wanting just to lower their stats as much as physically possible, having Havoc Wing, this Ridiculous Clown, Innovate, and then, Light of Judgment on top of it is just, they're gonna hit like a wet noodle. But you also get Meteor Plus from this, which is a multi-hit Magic Brave attack that has a potency of 290% of your attack stat, which is good. It's still not going to be the super damage dealer that you want him to be, because it's just not got an HP attack on the end, and it's really sad that you don't get it. But it's a really nice extra to have. And it also, I also failed to mention, as it says on the list here, that it extends granted buffs by 2 turns. So anything that you've gotten elsewhere is made longer, and that's always nice as well, because it means that you don't have to keep casting, because longevity at this point is the name of the game. When we get Chaos or Cosmos difficulty, then those are going to last a lot longer, and we need to be able to keep up with that. The limit breaks abilities that you get from Havoc Wing are really nice as well, primarily because of the third one. It raises his max bravery by 50%, which is quite a lot for just a passive just to have. So his max bravery goes up by a lot, and his regular bravery attack basically doubles in damage. So you've got his regular bravery attack, which is almost as powerful as his Meteor, which is almost as powerful as his Meteor Plus that you get from using his EX. So your brave attacks are really strong. It's just really, really sad that you're not going to be able to use it as a brave HP attack, because his DPS would be so much better if he could. So if you're wanting to pull for Kefka, do you have to do it now? Honestly, not really. He comes back a couple of times over the course of the next year or so, when the EX Plus era comes about. But weirdly, he actually hasn't had his EX Plus yet in JP, so we can't comment on how much stronger he becomes when he has it. But he comes back around not long after Garland comes about, so between Garland and Ultimisia, alongside Tifa EX. Now, I actually already have Tifa EX because, as I said, I pulled for it by accident and I got it. So for me, it wouldn't be worthwhile to pull for this banner, so that leads me to want to pull for Kefka now. He also does come back. He's actually a very recent banner in JP as well, one of the most recent, in fact the most recent banner in JP, where he's put alongside Prish EX and Raijin without his EX. So you know, you could wait for Kefka if you wanted to, and he's not meta-defining in any way, shape or form. He's the best at what he does, but what he does is all he does. So whether that influences your want to pull for him or not is entirely up to you guys. So in the long run, do I think Kefka is worth pulling for? Not really, purely because of the number of characters the other characters we're getting this month that are really important to pull for. And Kefka is amazing, but he is purely a luxury item. That's not going to stop me from pulling for him, because I absolutely love the character and I'm going to be doing that on stream, so hopefully I shall post those pulls for you, and hopefully I'm a little bit luckier. You know, the Kefka face gives me a little bit more fortune than it did for Josh last year. But hopefully, you guys will want to pull for Kefka if you want someone that's really good at debuffing, because as I said, he's the best in the game at it right now, and if you happen to get Bartz along the way and don't have his stuff already, then it's a nice added bonus. Tifa, kind of a throwaway character without her EX, and isn't even that amazing with it. She's good at single target beatdown, but that's about it. And then Bartz will be able to kind of keep your guys alive, keep you guys batteried, even without his EX. His longevity just won't be as long. But in the long run, I don't think that this banner is worth pulling for, because Lena is going to be much more important in a couple of weeks, and then either Golbez or Renoa, whichever one you prefer, is going to be a much bigger DPS importance. Like, it's the next power creep up in terms of damage, so that's the one that you're probably going to be wanting to save for. Anyways, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you very much for joining me today, and I hope that I've impressed you guys with a little bit of Kefka face and a little bit of something different. And I hope that you guys, if you pull for Kefka, I wish you all the best of luck. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and all that good stuff. Don't forget to check out DissidiaDB.com and give them your support, because it's such an amazing website. I use it for all of my studio pull videos, and honestly, you know, to Rem, who makes the website, congratulations and well done you. It's a fantastic website, and I'm sure the community as a whole absolutely loves you for it. And as always, don't forget to check out all of the other Opera Omnia content creators, because there's tons of us and not just me, so do go and support everybody. And I did want to quickly apologise that this video is a little bit on the later side, but that's because I was working at UK Games Expo all weekend, showcasing some of the new board games that Square Enix is making, as well as some stuff for Final Fantasy TCG. But as I said, thank you very much for joining me, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Legit really want it, because it's Kefka, and I know that Josh is the one that's well known for cosplaying Kefka when he did his stream, but hopefully it's nicer to me than it was to him. Although I saw on his Twitter that he got it in 6 pulls this time, so hopefully I can channel some of his luck and we'll see how we go. I haven't farmed as much of Ifrit as I would have liked to have done, but I haven't done the Lost Chapter yet, because I've been away doing UK Games Expo all weekend for Final Fantasy TCG, and I was showcasing a lot of Square Enix's board games actually this time around, which was quite good fun. So hopefully something's going to come about from this. So shall we get into it? I need to get a Kefka laugh button. I really need to get a Kefka laugh button. Because as much as I love my Kuja, and we all know I love my Kuja, Kefka's up there. Oh. No, not this time. Let's try again. Nope. I reckon I'm going to go down to 50 tickets before I start looking at gems. I've managed to pick up a lot of gems, and I haven't farmed as much of Ifrit as I could do. Oh? It's a start. It's something Kefka related. It's something Kefka related. Oh, where's the 35? So that's a good start. I'm fine with that. I really don't want to pull. I don't want to pity Kefka. I really don't want to. I want this to be nice to me. I mean, I'm hoping that the face is serving face is gonna give me some Kefka realness. Oh, starting silver. Okay. No. Come on, give me something. You already given me one thing, actually. I shouldn't really. Yeah, I'd give it a little Kefka. I should get a little Kefka. I like that Joy of the Law. I like it. It's good. It's good. I haven't quite perfected my laugh yet, so I'm not doing it for you on stream. Ooh. I'm not sure if I wanted to try for Vanille EX or not. It was one of those ones like, well, if it's nice to me, I might give it a little go, but nah, I'm not going to bother with it. I don't need, I really don't need it to farm Ifrit or anything, so. Oh, really? That's really interesting. AoE, so I have to sit there and I have to sip my drink out of a straw so I don't ruin my makeup. Come on, you can do better than this. Oh really? I haven't really tried for Vanille because I know there's so many others. I haven't actually had a chance to get any of my Should You Pull videos out. I did film one. I filmed one for Kefka with this face, so there's that to look forward to. But I didn't bother doing one for Vanille because I was away all weekend. I couldn't get to a camera or anything. Oh. Oh. Ah, Bartz 35. I don't want a Bartz 35. I've maxed that out already. Come on, come on. I might just run my tickets. No. Oh, thank you very much. I try. I do try. I had somebody really read me to filth, actually, the last video I made, saying I was ripping off Square. It's like, well, duh. Oh! Shut up! No way! See? It works! Oh my god! This is a good start for this month. I was not paying attention. I was talking to you guys and look what happened.